Thank you for the rundowns. Brenda, we have this slideshow. Please share it in our group chat after, not on here, but on our Google chat after we finish the training. Takeaway in my eyes is adding these interest payment back into the conventional and FHA. And team, I'll share any examples that I'll present this separately afterwards. So we don't have to be afraid of selling the hard money loans. There will be a lot of people going through a lot of payment issues. VA, FHA, they stop the deferment payment. So their product, without early payoff penalty or prepayment penalty, will help us to help our clients to move on to save their asset, families, and belongings. One thing I like about them versus AAA lending or any other hard money loan lenders, they don't strictly give a condition with an appraisal. When the loan to value is low, we may overcome some of the requirements and just to get things done. Javon, I have a question personally. We have a client who had multiple late payments on the credit card and student loans. I have a 780 FICO score dropping to 550, 560. This is a new finding starting last week that the student loan agencies are now reporting the late payment histories or derogatories showing on the credit report now. Do we have any solutions for those who has credit score less than 660? When the late payment on student loan itself is only the defect.
Yeah, that's no problem. I mean, as far as what I'll do or not do, it still always has to do with the property. And then especially in that kind of scenario, they pay all their mortgages, they pay all their installments, they like everything's fine, but now just the student loan lates are showing up. Yeah, I would basically ignore that.
Okay, so you can give us an exception on it, right?
I mean, I don't
Okay.
ever have, it's not even an exception. I mean, I'm always going to do that deal. Theoretically, if they didn't pay mortgages and things like that, I might charge them more. I would still do the deal, but in their case, it makes sense. Like it would be a normal deal. I mean, all of our deals are kind of expensive, right? We're not the cheap. We're just the solution to get them to the better exit loan, the conventional, good long-term loan. So in that deal, I would treat it just like a normal deal.
Okay.
With no
The reason why I mentioned this minimum FICO score 660 was in one of your slides, but
yeah, I know that's one of the things where I said we have these guidelines, but I just have them just because everybody says, "What's your guidelines?" The real guideline is if we like it, we fund it. So that's not something I can replicate, right? But just to give you an idea of what I'm looking at, there really is no minimum FICO. It's just about the property. And so any deal, and then also with 85 mil, what was that?
Was there a minimum?
Can we do purchase loans?
Say that again.
Can we do purchase loans?
Oh, of course, yeah. Purchase, refi, cash out.
Like 40% down, quick 3-month term purchase.
Absolutely.
Let's say Korean investor overseas wiring funds $2 million cash, asking us to fund a 50% loan to value ratio deal.
Yeah.
Can we do something like that?
Yep, I love it. If it's a non-U.S. citizen, we'd make them we'd require that they buy it in a U.S. LLC or U.S. entity. But yeah, that's great. I love that deal.
Perfect. So we can plug this program into at least 4 different products that we already serve. Provide the exit strategy right away at the initial consultation stage, right? DSCR loans can plug in perfectly with it. And second, the AAA lending's hard money product, the long-term ones, can be plugged in this. We bail out the client and then give them a long-term hard money loan, like 3-year term, 4-year term, whatever. And then 34 will be conventional and FHA. Plug it in with DTI, people who's going through DTI issues, which I'll go over later this week with details. Or Javon, do you have any wins scenarios where people take things out from your hard money loan into conventional things from yours to FHA.
Oh yeah, the exit plan is usually into an FHA or a conventional loan. That's usually what people do. And so we're solving a problem, and the usual way to solve, they're using cash to pay off debt that's going to help their credit score up, or they're getting past some kind of minimum period, past a derogatory. You know, they have a foreclosure or a bankruptcy or a short sale or something, and they need just a little more time before they can get to that FHA or conventional loan. But yeah, however the exit, it needs to be structured. In fact, I'm going to ask, what's the exit? And if you say it's a conventional loan, then I'm going to say, well, what's the guidelines? Have you looked at that? Because I want to make sure my loan is structured so that that exit financing could work. Because I want to be paid off, and I want you to get that second loan, which will help me to get paid off, right? So we're planning from the beginning to get that exit loan or that exit completed. We want to make sure it happens.
Do you have any specific, like a screenshot of how they bring in the exit strategy? And have you had any, do you feel comfortable sharing how the other broker shops are submitting loan exit strategies?
Yeah,
how
well,
can you trust them when they?
Well, it's just got to make sense to me. I mean, if it's a normal lender, I'm going to know if it's real or not. I can just Google it, you know. I just want them to do the legwork for me. But in the end, I don't need them to prove it. It's just got to make sense, because in the end, we're doing low leverage loans, and if we foreclose, we're going to be able to be able to pay off our loans, get all our money that, you know, plus, you know, fees and now maturity default if we needed to. But I'm trying to avoid that, because we don't lend to own. Like, I don't want to own these properties. I don't want to foreclose. It's a lot of extra work. It's a lot of extra time. But it's you know, my investors don't get paid on a monthly basis, because now we're waiting for the payments all stop. Like, it's not something that I want to happen. And so I'm just asking, so it makes sense to me. If it makes sense to me, we're going to do it. If the exit doesn't make sense, like I think they're lying to me, or I think it's not going to happen, I still might do it, right? Because now I'm still an asset-based lender, and I'm lending based on, if everything goes bad, we're still going to be okay. You know, like, I'm going to be able to foreclose, take back the property. It's going to sell enough, or it's going to sell at auction, and we're going to be able to be paid off. There's the equity is there to be able to do that.
I see.
But
Okay.
I'm just saying, if it's worst case scenario, I'm like, oh, for sure these guys are lying. We're doing a loan right now for a guy that's been convicted, has a felony for mortgage fraud. Well, we're not actually done it, right? We're going to do it if he wants. But it's because it's a really low leverage on a really nice property. We're like, okay, well, might be 2 years trying to foreclose this guy, but you know, it's worth the risk, right? So it just depends on the property. There's nothing that we can't do, because it's our own money. We can do whatever we want. I would just rather it be, I give someone the money, they pay me back. I'd rather it be simple like that.
Okay.
Is there a minimum loan
Thanks for
amount?
the explanation.
What was that, Freddie?
Yeah. Was there a minimum loan amount?
30,000 would probably be our minimum. But once we get to those little deals, our origination would be flat instead of points. So I think $3,600 is our minimum origination. But yeah, any exit's fine. I just want to know that you thought about it. And if you have a plan, if it doesn't make sense to me, I mean, I've been doing lending for a long time, and usually it makes sense if it's going to work. So if it doesn't work, I'm like, that's not going to work. Why don't you prove it to me? And then if I still think it's not going to work, it doesn't mean we won't do the deal. It just means the layers of risk just got a little higher for us, which is fine.
Sounds good. Team, any questions?
I have a question. Javon,
Yes.
for our charges, so if we charge 2, your investor has to charge 2?
You're talking about points.
Yes, sir.
the way that the points usually work is you just add points on top of ours. So it's going to depend on the deal. Oh, well, actually, Peter and I came up with some. You could add points for sure, and you're going to be the direct link to the borrower. So they're not going to know us; they're going to know you. You're going to stay in between as the contact. And so it just depends on how you want to structure it. Peter had an idea on how to do that, but you can certainly just add points on top of ours, and there's really no limit to that.
So if you're charging 1 point, because you did say you charge between 1 and 2 points. So if you're charging 1 point, can we go above and beyond that 1 point? Can we go 2 points on top of your 1?
Yeah, there is no official limit to what you can charge. I just don't want you to kill the deal by charging too much. And so,
So Ian, for owner-occupied deals, the high-price mortgage has to run. We impound it, put the rate at 13%, and then the AUS, not AUS, the QM. If you click the QM button on the Calyx point, it will run the California high-price mortgage pass. Then we're good to go. We don't have to talk about the compliance. Usually, loan fee under 4 points is passing. Combined fee has to be 5 in Section A.
So on a consumer loan, we give those as a line of credit, and line of credits are business loans. So you're not going to have high cost limits on our consumer debt that we give. And then on the business loans and on which are non-owner occupied or business purpose seconds, those are also business loans, and there isn't going to be a high cost max.
So you're saying the 13% interest, 18% interest only DTI pass calculation, you will give us a lot of credit.
Yes, but it is
interesting.
It is a fully drawn line of credit with no option to redraw. So we're not. I don't tell people it's a line of credit because I don't want them to get the idea that they have a line of credit. It's just the mechanism to get them the money.
Gotcha. This is better than I thought. All right.
Is there anything in the contract that assures us that they should be refinancing through us?
You can do any kind of contract that you want. It's going to be impossible to enforce, but sure. I would advise it if they sign it. It's just psychologically, it's really nice to have.
So, Jovan, let's talk about the white labeling. Let's just be transparent, talk about specific details we had to talk about, right? Let's say we have a client we're funding today. Will the loan document will show Giving Tree's name and you fund, or will it show a third-party entity between you and I to white label? How does the mechanism work?
Yeah, it's gonna show whatever entity that we have. We don't have a white label set up, but we don't reach out to them directly. It would be you, and then when we service it, the servicing is going to be from FCI.JCAP as well. So you're going to have also a third-party servicer. So all in all, you're going to be the contact. We don't engage them directly, and in fact, even at maturity, I'm still going back to you, and we're saying, hey, what's going on? If they need an extension, do they need a whatever? And then at that point, we're going to tell you what we're going to charge if they need an extension. Let's say they can't pay us off, and then you're going to have an opportunity to add to the cost of the extension if you want it as well.
And how about the disclosures of the fee? Will it show Jovan Company 1 point, Giving Tree 1 point, or will it have the white label? Let's say one of the entity you mentioned, let's say LLC. Will this LLC charging 2 points? And then you would pay us separately?
We could have that conversation. Yes, the way that you said you wanted to before, we can do that.
Okay, so team, we don't have to learn the new mechanism. Whatever that we were doing before, we apply the same. And I'll talk the specific details with Jovan, and when you have a deal, we'll give you specific guidelines in writing. So client doesn't have to know how much money we make specifically. That's the ultimate goal.
Yeah, so you
Any other questions?
Your service, you can keep it as doing a service.
You have any marketing materials in your website? or for resources that we can use or
Yeah, I can share. I don't really, but I can send you what I have for sure. I can send it to Peter or who. Send me an email who to send it to, and I can send you some marketing material.
Thank you, sir.
Give me 1 second.
Yeah. Oh, excellent. Yep. Yeah. Anybody who wants to get on our marketing list, you can just email me at javon@jcap.net. Or otherwise, I will email Brenda and Peter just what I have. No problem.
Okay. So, I mean, we passed the 10:30 mark, but thank you, Javon, for your help today. This helps
Yeah.
me and the team to understand what kind of a situation that we are getting to. A lot of difficult times, difficult situations will come, even more so nowadays. So equipping with proper finance vehicles will help us to, I guess, move to the next level faster than we anticipate. A lot of crazy things are coming up. So,
Yeah, I agree. I think we're going to be in store for an economic ride coming up here.
hard money loan rate under 8 is cheaper than non-QM rate. So charge something on the hard money loan, don't charge anything on the refinance, and work on the rebate. You're going to have 2 consistent deals within the same month or the following month. We don't have to ask the clients to pay any interest payment on the 13-14% rate that they're writing. They may pay the per diems, but that's better than if we tell Javon that we'll get it done in 30 days using conventional or non-QM deals, as long as there's no late payment on the mortgage account, on the verification of mortgage, we can officially take them out the next following business day, right? So we can simultaneously work 2 transactions at the same time if we want to micromanage in every single line. So I'll be on board. I'll be open throughout this and next week. If you have any open scenarios, please throw everything to me. I'll talk to Javon about the compliance and documentations. Besides how we get paid and how to submit the file, any other questions? If not, Brenda, whenever you receive the flyers and the marketing materials through Javon, please share with all of us and send another email to Javon with all of our MLO lists. So all of us, starting tomorrow, can receive direct email marketing details, campaigns from JCap. Thank you for hopping on, everyone. Have a great week. Thank you, Javon, for joining today. I'm excited to have this business relationship and hope this overflows and have a fruitful relationship later this year. Thank you so much. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week.
Peter. Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye-bye.